Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever walked past a Baccarat table in a casino and thought, whoa, that looks complicated, with all the fancy ropes and serious-looking players? Well, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. It's actually one of the easiest games in the entire casino. And today, we're gonna prove it. The whole game, and I mean the entire game, boils down to this one choice between two sides, player and banker. You can just think of it as blue versus red. And the best part? The odds are almost a perfect 50-50. Seriously, it's about as close as you can get to a simple coin flip in a casino.
So how do you play? Well, it all kicks off with one simple choice. And get this, it's the only decision you have to make for the entire hand.
And here it is. This is your entire job description for a round of Baccarat. You just pick which side you think is going to win and place your bet there. That's it. You don't ask for more cards, you don't make any other plays, you literally just bet, and then you sit back and watch the show. It's kind of brilliant, right?
Okay, let's talk about those two sides, player versus banker. To make this super easy, just forget the names for a second and think of it as blue versus red. Two different hands get dealt, and you're just betting on which one's going to win. Simple as that.
Now listen up, because this is a really important point that trips up so many new players. When you hear the word banker, your brain might immediately think, oh, that's the house, that's the casino. Nope, not in Baccarat. Banker is just a name for one of the hands, same as player. You can bet on the banker hand anytime you want.
So the flow of the game is just this easy two-step process. Step 1, you put your chip on either the player or the banker. Step 2, you take your hands off the table because you're done. From here on out, the dealer does everything. They follow a strict set of rules, and you don't have to make a single other decision.
So what does the dealer do? First thing, they deal out 2 cards to the player spot and 2 cards to the banker spot, both face up for everyone to see. It's all completely out in the open.
All right, so the bet is down, the cards are out. How do we figure out who won? This is where we get to the real heart of the game, what I call the Baccarat secret. Once you get this one little rule, the whole game just clicks into place. So it starts off pretty normal. You just add the value of the cards together. Real quick, aces are worth 1, cards 2 through 9 are worth exactly what they say, but, and this is key, 10s, jacks, queens, and kings, they're all worth a big fat 0. But wait, there's one more little twist.
And here it is. This is the magic rule of Baccarat. When you add the cards up, you only ever pay attention to the last digit. So if a hand adds up to 15, the score isn't 15, it's just 5. You literally just drop that first digit. That's the rule.
Let's look at an example. Say the player hand gets a 4 and a 9. Okay? 4 plus 9 is 13. But because of our Baccarat rule, we just chop off that 1 at the front, and the final score for the hand is just 3. See? Easy. Let's do one more. What if a hand gets a jack and an 8? Well, the jack is worth 0, so the total is 8. What if it was a 10 and an 8? The 10 is also 0, so the total is still 8. It's all about getting that single-digit score. So what happens if the total is exactly 10, or even 20? Let's say you get 2 5s. That's a total of 10. You drop the 1, and the score is 0. A score of 0 is actually called a Baccarat. And yeah, it's the worst score you can get. So, because of this whole only the last digit counts rule, what's the highest possible score you can get? Think about it. It's 9. A 9 is the best hand you can have. An 8 or a 9 is often called a natural, and it's super strong. And that leads us right to the big finish. How do you win? Well, it's just as simple as the scoring. The side whose final score is closest to 9 is the winner. Period. Okay, let's watch a full round play out using this example. The player hand gets a 4 and a 9. That adds up to 13, so the final score is 3. The banker hand gets an 8 and a king. A king is worth 0, so the banker's score is 8. So who's closer to 9? The banker, with a score of 8. The banker hand wins. If you bet on banker, congrats, you just won. And that's basically it. You now know how to play Baccarat. Sure, there are some specific rules about when a third card might be drawn, but you don't even need to know them. The dealer handles all of that automatically. You now know everything you need to sit down and play with confidence. So let's just recap the 3 most important things to remember. 1. Your only job is to pick a side to bet on. 2. The secret scoring rule, only the last digit counts. And 3. The goal is simple. Bet on the hand that gets closer to 9. You see, it's all about simple rules and even simpler choices. But now you actually get why it works. You understand the scoring, you know the objective, and that little bit of knowledge is what takes all the mystery away and makes the game so much more fun. So now that you're in on the secret, now that you know how beautifully simple Baccarat really is, the only question left is, are you ready to give it a try?